Hey, what's up? So in this video, we are going to talk about how you can have a great store of value for your crypto. All right. We all have crypto, and a lot of person have transferred their money into crypto because it's becoming the world top-notch asset. All right, for the century. So it's very important for everyone to have some of their funds, not all, some of their funds in crypto. All right, but funny enough, there's a lot of persons that have lost a lot of money in crypto, like those that the initial holders of Bitcoin. There's a lot of persons that have lost about 800 Bitcoin, 8,000 Bitcoin, 20 Bitcoin, and as much as possible. But those people bought like some years ago, and when it's the time now is, let's say, when it's discovered that their asset is of great value now, they try to recover it or try to open their wallet, and then they discover that they don't have access to it anymore. And that's because despite the fact that crypto solve a problem of middlemen, like the banks serving as middlemen and becoming a decentralized kind of exchange, you know, crypto still poses some kind of problem, which is for not everyone understand the processes of how it works. And because of that, so many person don't understand how it works. They don't have they make a lot of mistakes, and once a mistake is made, there is no customer care anywhere that you could meet and say, solve my problem, and they will solve your problem. So except uh, just something that is happening on this channel where I get to recover a lot of coins for a lot of y'all that have lost your coin, that have lost access to your coin, and I get to teach you how to recover that. All right, the educational in crypto is just like people trying to blow up their channel or trying to teach you how to. It's not straight to the point. All right, most of them are not truly straight to the point, and that's why I try to boycott, and then I try to teach you guys everything, all right, on this channel. That's why if you're not subscribed to this channel right now, do want to subscribe, click that subscription button, enable the notification bell button so that whenever I upload video, you can always see it. So as a result of that, those first holders of Bitcoin, they've lost, most of them have lost access. They've lost the location. They don't have idea where they store their recovery phrase, and that's what I'm just going to lay down here. Teach you how to store your recovery phrase such that in any year, in even 100 years, if you wake up, you will always remember what your 12 key recovery phrase are. And the recovery phrase is like your personal secret details that you should hold to yourself and not share to anyone, because anybody could do anything when they have access to your recovery phrase. And that's why you should save it in a very secure place. All right. And a lot of person, which is a good thing, is writing it down. All right. But in most cases, there could be an emergency, fire outbreak, flood, or maybe an emergency evacuation, or you decide to move out of the country, or move out of your location out of emergency. In that kind of situation where you don't have access to phone, or you don't have access to getting in touch with anybody, or what do you do, or what would you do? So in this kind of situation, you might lose access to your funds or to your hard-earned money, just like that. All right, so this is what you're going to do. All right, and I believe after this video, a lot of you should make this kind of make this kind of thing done, so that nothing of this will happen to you. Just like there are most people that I've seen some that had about like 800 Bitcoin, but they've lost their recovery phrase. They don't know where they store it, they don't know where they drop it, they just don't have it. So they are in regret. So in order not to be in just that kind of situation, this is what to do exactly. Now, storing your recovery phrase should be like a pyramid scheme. Pyramid scheme means that you should store it in three different places, or they should all be linked to three different places. Now, apart from writing it down on a piece of paper and putting it in between your documents, your most valuable document where you store your documents, your most important documents, or most people putting it in a safe, or maybe most person using hardware. Now, apart from writing all those recovery process where you store them, well, that that could be vulnerable to flooding or fire outbreak or emergency evacuation. You know, there are other ways you could store it too, and that is storing your recovery phrase in code. What I mean is, I'm not referring to computer coding algorithm. What I mean storing your recovery phrase in code is storing it in a kind of code that only you understand, or if anybody close to you sees it, or someone that you want to understand, they could understand, such that if you could look at it in any year or any year, even in 20, 30, 40 years later, you will always understand that this is what this code means, because these are matters that are related to you. The code that you store it in should have an answer within it, all right, or it should have an answer in a separate place. Now, if most of you all have kids that are in primary school and they do this quantitative reasoning or verbal reasoning where there has to be some kind of words mixing or mixing of code or transcribing some words into code or numbers into code. All right, if you have children in secondary school, in primary school, you could have done one or two of those assignments for them. All right, so that's the same way you could, transcribe your recovery phrase in code. Now, I was talking about storing in as a pyramid scheme. That's two different places. One could be when it is written down. Another way is storing it on online on your email address, but this time around you're not storing it word to word, you're storing it as a code, because most people have their emails too vulnerable that they can easily be hacked into or something. So if it's written in a code and it's being stored in a subfolder, uh, people could not easily find it or easily have access to it. You could actually store your this thing as a code in your email and then create a subfolder, save it, send it, and save it in that subfolder. And now that email should have a recovery phrase. Sorry, that email should have a recovery email and should have a recovery number. All right. And the email that you link your first email to should have another email, and they should have a recovery email, because in Google email, once you log on with another phone number, another devices, they will tell you things like, okay, you have to send a code to your phone number or to your email, and if you're in another country and you don't have access to your device, don't have access to anything, you could lose everything. You get the point now? Okay. So in that situation now, the first email should be linked to a phone number and to a recovery email. Now, the second email that you said that you save as recovery email should be linked to another email, and then just a recovery email. Now, this just a recovery email. This other email should be linked to another email and no recovery email. It should just no recovery phone number, no recovery email, so that you can just log on. Once you just log on, it will just open up for you. All right, this is how you should do it. That's how I believe you should do it. So that once you have access to the first email, you can have access to the second, to the third, second, and then the first. All right, which makes it easy for you to access your device, your email, and everything. So now, having done that, now, this is the way you can store your recovery phrase. Like I said, the first way is storing it as by writing it down. Then second way is storing it on your email, and then the third one is storing it in three different places or in two different places, separating it halfway. The first six words, it's 12 key phrase. The first six should be stored in different places, and then the second six should be stored in a different place. All right, but it should be stored in code. Now, this code can be writing it backward. Let's say if your recovery phrase is come tomorrow. Now it should be written like tomorrow to come. You get the point now? Or it should be written like it should be written backward like tomorrow, just like tomorrow, the last word is W. Okay, it should be W O, all right, written backward like that. All right, you know how to transcribe code now. So another way you could, store it in the code is maybe like this letter A could represent one, letter B two, letter C three, letter D four. So those letters could be represented on those code, like if let's say come tomorrow could be represented with what particular letter they represent, all right, and then if anybody have access to it, what they will just be seeing is numbers. All right. But now in this kind of situation, you should twist it, because most persons are intelligent enough, are brilliant enough to be able to decode some code. If you twist it enough, separate it into, when you're storing in code, you can separate it in 4 4 4, or 3 3 3 3. All right, like in 3 different places. You get the point. So now, apart from doing that, there's just so many ways. Let's say you are in your family, you have or you could just store them based on their first initials, and then write the remaining their represented words below as an asterisk. All right. So just find a way to store them like that, and then wherever, if you lose access to your device, you lose access to your file, you could just log on to your email and then have access to uh, your your keywords, your recovery phrase, and then be able to recover your funds. All right, because one reason why we subscribe to banks and everything is because of the security. But let's look at the case in a situation like in Afghanistan, where all the bankers, the top bankers have left the country. You don't have access to your money anymore. All right, so let's look at the worst case scenario, what will happen, and derive a solution to them. So I hope this video was helpful to you, and I hope you have subscribed to my channel. Alright, what I bring on this channel is a great value. So be sure to like my video and subscribe to my channel. If you're already subscribed, you're in the right place, where I teach a lot of things about crypto world that you have to understand, how to help you, secure a crypto, perform a smooth transaction on crypto without having any problem or any mishap. So be sure that you stay subscribed, and then like my video, share my video to somebody. It could be helpful to someone out there. It could save people millions and billions. All right, so thank you for watching my videos, and see you in my next video.